Hello and good evening. Today it is Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. And for this video today, I will be sharing my thoughts on the Vancouver Canucks farm team, the Abbotsford Canucks and I'm going to share my thoughts on their name, their logo, and ultimately their jerseys as well. So, for me, this one hits home because truth is, I do live in BC, and personally, I think it's great that the Vancouver Canucks are moving their American Hockey League team out of Utica, New York to Abbotsford, British Columbia, which is about an hour and a half away from Rogers Arena. And I gotta be honest, I'm really happy for the city of Abbotsford. They've had this brand new arena built for, I believe, about a decade now or so. And, to see that they are going to have their hometown arena and convention center housing the Vancouver Canucks AHL team, I think is really good. And it's great to have another team, professional hockey team in the Vancouver area. I think that's terrific. So today, not only did the Vancouver Canucks unveil the new name of their AHL team now that it's moved to Abbotsford, but they also unveiled the logo and the jerseys. So obviously, the pants and gloves are likely going to be the exact same as the NHL affiliate, just an hour and a half away in downtown Vancouver. So I'm sure everything but the jerseys and the socks will be the same as what the Canucks wear. Now, in the past decade or so, I've noticed a trend where more and more American Hockey League teams are having either the exact same uniform style as their affiliates in the NHL, or they are designing uniforms where the players can wear the same equipment, whether they're playing on their AHL team or the affiliate in the NHL. So, for example, say there's a player who plays on the San Diego Gulls, for example, who are the Anaheim Ducks farm team in the American Hockey League. Well, if they need to call up a player, instead of having to supply them with new gloves and pants and equipment, they can take their equipment right from San Diego straight to Anaheim or wherever the Ducks are playing, and they don't have to break in new equipment, and the teams don't have to pay to buy that player new equipment. So that's something I've noticed in the American Hockey League in the past decade, and I'm sure that's going to be that same idea of having the same equipment already broken in when you're playing in the American Hockey League is going to apply here for the Abbotsford AHL Canucks. So I'll start by sharing my thoughts on the name. I have to be honest, I wish that Abbotsford would have had a different name than Canucks, but I'm okay with it because we do get to finally see Johnny Canuck on some Canucks jerseys. I know they're not NHL jerseys, but the fact that we actually get to see Johnny Canuck on some Canucks jerseys, I gotta admit, that's something I'm really happy about. But although I like the idea of finally seeing Johnny Canuck on the jerseys, on some actual jerseys that will be used and not some fashion jersey that was brought out about 5 to 7 years ago, which coincidentally I noticed the hockey guy was wearing his green Johnny Canuck fashion jersey in his video talking about the Abbotsford Canucks earlier today. But the Abbotsford Canucks, I'm okay with the name, but truth is, speaking of the hockey guy, I do agree that it would have been cool if they would have named this team something other than Canucks. I actually liked the name that was going around that a lot of people were suggesting, which was the Abbotsford Aviators, which is a good name for the city of Abbotsford. They have an Abbotsford Air Show every year, and I think it would really tie in well with the city of Abbotsford. Truth is, I actually know of a prototype jersey that the Abbotsford Heat were considering that was a black jersey that actually had an airplane on the front. I might be able to dig that jersey up if I can find it and do a prototype files video on it one day. But obviously, if even the old AHL team that was here, which was Calgary's farm team, was considering that, clearly there's a reason for it. And I think Aviators would have been a really nice name. Actually, speaking of names, though, I think a lot of you are going to be surprised to hear me say this, but if I were to give this team a name, I actually would have called them the Abbotsford Owls. I don't know. I'm sure some of you are thinking, where did that come from? I think it would have been a cool name, and I know BC's full of owls, and you know, when I think of professional sports teams, I haven't heard of any that are named after owls. So I think something like that could have been really cool too, where you could have done green and white jerseys and kept them simple like this. I think that could have been really cool too. But yeah, the name Abbotsford Canucks, I was hoping for a name that wasn't the exact same. I'm surprised it's the same as the Vancouver Canucks. I'm surprised that name's going to be the same for the AHL team. But considering they've brought Johnny Canuck onto and put him on the AHL jerseys, I find really interesting. So now let's talk about the logo. I'm really excited to finally see the Vancouver Canucks finally putting Johnny Canuck on some actual jerseys. And truth is, I've been saying for a long time, I've been really wanting the Canucks to not only finally do a Kelly Green jersey, which I gotta be honest, I was disappointed their reverse retro wasn't Kelly Green this past season. But you know, to not only finally see a Kelly Green jersey, but I've also wanted to see the Vancouver Canucks do a Johnny Canuck jersey that's Kelly Green with blue and white stripes. I actually got my wish. I didn't think it was going to be because of their new AHL affiliate being in Abbotsford. So I'm very surprised this is how I'm getting to see my dream come true of a green Johnny Canuck jersey. But hey, you know, I love the Johnny Canuck logo. This is actually a modernized version of the original. Now, the original, before the Vancouver Canucks were an NHL team, I'm going to take you back to the early 60s real quick here. There was a Vancouver Canucks team before they joined the NHL back in 1970. And they played in the old Western Hockey League. And I believe this is actually the very first time I've ever seen a color photo of the old Western Hockey League Vancouver Canucks uniform, where it had blue and red striping, and you can see the old Johnny Canuck logo on the front. And back then they had front numbers, which thankfully the Buffalo Sabres were the last team to have them, which they've now finally gotten rid of them. Thank you, Buffalo. But yeah, this is the first time in basically 60 years that we're seeing Johnny Canuck on the front of a professional sports team jersey here in BC again. But this is the original, and this is where that logo came from. So when the Vancouver Canucks unveiled their longtime Reebok Edge era alternate in the 08-09 season, which was the modernized blue stick and rink jersey, their longtime third jersey back then, they actually did introduce this new modernized Johnny Canuck logo as a secondary logo that was never used by the Vancouver Canucks. So I'm happy to see Johnny Canuck on the front of a jersey. But speaking of Johnny Canuck, though, I have to be honest. I'm disappointed that the Vancouver Canucks aren't actually wearing Johnny Canuck on one of their jerseys. But on the flip side, though, I'm grateful that at least he's going to be on somebody's jersey. Ironically, it's on their farm teams. He's going to be on their farm team's jerseys, who are playing in Abbotsford and will have the same name as the Vancouver Canucks. They're the Abbotsford Canucks. So now I want to talk about the jerseys. Notice that they've done a little subtle tribute to the Vancouver Canucks original jerseys. they flipped the V around to make it an A to incorporate that bottom white stripe to form a letter A for Abbotsford on both the home and away jerseys. Now, as for the new home jersey, the only things I dislike about it are, number one, the the CCM Quick Crap collar. Quick Light. I have to confess, lately I've been seeing some better Adidas collar designs than this new Quick Light collar that's been brought out by CCM. It does look a lot better without the mock ties, the mock laces that you see here, but it's really, those collars are too fat and wide in my opinion. And, at least with the Addy Zero collars, although I hate them too, if you do a solid green or even a solid blue collar with some white piping here, it actually really works and is a lot easier on the eyes than this big fat collar design you see here, which it looks a lot better on their new away uniform, but I'll get to that in a moment. So notice the traditional striping. Notice the little bit of white on the bottom instead of it being exactly the same as their home jersey, as the Vancouver Canucks home jersey, obviously being a royal blue flip of this, and in the Addy Zero jersey cut, and obviously with the Orca on the front. These jerseys will have the white stick and rink shoulder patch on both of them, just like the Canucks' new home and away jerseys. And notice that the Canucks have retained that awful agency font on these jerseys. Dear Canucks, please ditch the agency font. It's terrible. So, in my opinion, besides the collar and besides the agency font that should have been canned when the Canucks got their newest uniforms not too long ago, that green jersey I'm a fan of. Now, as for the away one, it's not bad, but I wish that the majority of the striping was greener, that they at least had green on the bottom portions of the striping. And speaking of that jersey, I'll pull up a digital graphic of what this away jersey will look like. So, as you can see, there will be a white stick and rink shoulder patch, the same as their home and away jerseys for the Vancouver Canucks. Notice the subtle A for Abbotsford here. I do wish that they would have at least maybe put some green on the cuffs of the arms, maybe a bit of white to break it up, and then some blue here. But I do think that this jersey needed more green accenting. Like, even, for example, they could have made the bottom of this jersey maybe bright green, and I think that would have brought some much-needed balance to this jersey. I mean, it looks fine, but it would have looked a lot better if it had more green, in my opinion, to better tie with their home jersey. So, there's the inside of the collar. I'm not sure if that's going to be on the jerseys this season, but it wouldn't surprise me. Here's the Quick Light collar and a little bit of green under there. So this is kind of a hybrid, modernized, or more, it's kind of like a cross between the Reebok Edge collar and the Addy Zero collar in a way. Yeah, CCM's Quick Light collars, I don't like them, just like I do not like the Adidas Addy Zero collars. So I'm also going to take a moment here in this video today to pull up an image here, a better image at least, of the Abbotsford Canucks new green home jersey. So I love the color. I've wanted a bright Kelly green Canucks jersey of some sort for a very, very long time, for basically 13 years now, since I was in high school. So, although this is the American Hockey League team's jersey, I'll take it. I mean, it looks good. I'm a fan of the Canucks, the Abbotsford Canucks home jersey. The away jersey's okay. It's not terrible, but I definitely don't like it as much. So, yeah, I mean, I find it interesting that they've kept the same name as the NHL affiliate in Vancouver. They're going to be the Canucks, the AHL Canucks, which I find really interesting. But even though I do wish that they would have had a different name, Aviators would have been a great choice. Even I like the idea of naming them the Owls if I had my way, but I must say, using this opportunity to bring Johnny Canuck out as a primary crest to finally be on a Canucks jersey is a huge win in my opinion. But I gotta be honest, I don't like this. And not that I dislike Johnny Canuck, but I don't understand. What I don't like about this is that the farm team is using Johnny Canuck. I want Vancouver to use Johnny Canuck. And in my opinion, I feel like this was done more to save money on branding costs. Hey, let's just call them the Canucks as well, and we'll take a logo that people like myself have been wanting for many, many years to finally be on a jersey, and we'll make him the primary logo and make new jerseys for our farm team. And then we don't have to design a new logo or nothing. All we need to do is design some jerseys. Oh, hey, we haven't done a bright Kelly green jersey before. Let's do that. And voila, you've got the Abbotsford Canucks. But that's also another thing too. Now that we've got the Abbotsford Canucks using Johnny Canuck, you know what bothers me? It makes it seem to me like the Canucks, the Vancouver, the NHL Canucks, are not going to use Johnny Canuck at all. At least not anytime soon. I mean, could we one day see Vancouver potentially do a WHL throwback one day for a future Heritage Classic? I know I hear there's supposed to be a Heritage Classic coming up next season, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have yet to be a part of that event, which I think is ridiculous, and that needs to change. But hey, I mean, what better time to bring out to go all in on Johnny Canuck than right now, and then unveil this AHL team, this new Canucks affiliate as the Abbotsford Canucks using Johnny Canuck, then hit the fans again by having the Canucks play the Maple Leafs in the next Heritage Classic and have the Canucks wear this uniform or something based off of it. I mean, that's possible too. I don't think that's going to happen. I could actually see Montreal and Toronto being in the Heritage Classic, but you know, I could see the NHL wanting an all original 6 Canadian outdoor game. I think it should happen, and I think that would be super cool if it did, finally. But yeah, I'm a little bit, what's the term for it? I'm a little bit disappointed that Johnny Canuck is not going to be on the Vancouver Canucks jerseys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy about Johnny Canuck finally being on some jerseys. He should be on a jersey. I'm ecstatic about this, but now that they've got their AHL team using Johnny Canuck, I'm disappointed because it looks like we're probably not going to see Vancouver using Johnny Canuck on one of their jerseys in the NHL, which I think sucks. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. I've wanted the Orca gone for many, many years. And, you know, this looks like a sign that the Canucks are set on the Orca for many, many, many years to come. And, you know, to my one viewer, Andre, I'm totally in agreement with you 100%. I do not like the Orca. I don't like the Canucks uniforms, and I really wish that they would either have gone with Johnny Canuck instead of the AHL team. Obviously, I know for you other viewers out there, listen, I'm really going into this because I'm really passionate about it. I'm a lifelong Canucks fan. I'm from BC. So seeing the Canucks do this is both good, but also in a way disappointing for me. You know, I've wanted the Orca gone since I was a kid. I've never liked the Orca. To me, it's not a good logo. For me, they're the Canucks. They're not the Orcas. And, you know, speaking of the Canucks and their current uniforms in the NHL, not the AHL affiliate here, is this a sign that maybe the Canucks, if they do ever decide to finally step away from the Orca, that maybe there's something else they're looking at long term to be going back to? Sorry to be playing speculation conspiracy theorist guy here, but makes me wonder. I mean, is this all part of an eventual long-term transition back to the skate uniforms? I know that the Canucks have brought them back a couple of times in recent years, most recently for their 50th anniversary season. And, you know, they've been very popular in BC. Obviously, the Canuck fans have been very happy about that uniform being brought back, including myself. Those 94... I actually prefer the early 90s, pre-94 version of those uniforms using orange instead of red. But those uniforms have been very popular for a long time, and a lot of us fans want to see the Canucks bring that back. So maybe, you know, maybe that's the long-term forecast. At least that's what I'm hoping for, because, you know, I was hoping the Canucks would do this for the NHL Canucks. But once again, I'm ecstatic that Johnny Canuck is finally getting used, and so he should. I've been waiting years for this, and I think a lot of other Canuck fans are probably in agreement with me on that. When I think of the Canucks, I think of the original stick and rink, I think of the skate, and I also have certainly thought about Johnny Canuck. And to see him on jerseys, even though not these are going to be for their farm team, I'll take it over nothing at all. I really will. And you know what? I must say, that home jersey, I'm a fan. I do really like the home jersey minus the agency font and the collar, which the collar's not really their fault. It's because CCM and Adidas think they have to have these big, ugly collar designs. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what this is going to mean for the future of the Vancouver Canucks uniforms, because clearly this is a sign that the Orca's not going away anytime soon, and if it is, it'll be replaced by something else, which I hope it does. But since they just updated and, honestly, in my opinion, upgraded their home and away jerseys by finally getting rid of the Vancouver wordmark above the Orca, I do think that those uniforms are sticking around for the foreseeable future, which, you know, I don't blame the Canucks for wanting to keep these new uniforms around for a little while at least, but I hope it doesn't last as long as the rest of the Orca uniforms. And I mean that. It's time for the Canucks to go either back to the skate, back to the original stick and rink, with some tweaks to the original blue jersey from the 70-71 season, not the heritage-inspired alternate jersey they wear now. That thing sucks, in my opinion. Or they need to do something with Johnny Canuck. That's my opinion. And if you do like the Orca, and if you think the Orca is the best identity they've ever had, hey, I respect your opinion. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything that I say. I mean, obviously, when I do these videos, I share my thoughts. It's even in the title of my video, for crying out loud. So I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say. So if you are pro-Orca, hey, I respect your opinion. I don't agree, just like you probably certainly don't agree with me. But hey, we all have opinions, and this is just how I feel. I don't like the Orca, and I wish that we would have seen Johnny Canuck being put on an NHL jersey rather than an AHL jersey. But as I've said numerous times, and I know I sound like a broken record, sorry everybody, but I am just grateful at this point to finally see Johnny Canuck on somebody's jersey. It's about damn time. And see, I think the AHL Canucks look way nicer than the NHL Canucks, with the exception of the away jersey. I do like the away jersey design of the Vancouver Canucks better than this new Abbotsford white jersey. But this home jersey, damn, it would stand out if it was the Canucks home jersey in the NHL. It's 10 times better than their home jersey and 100 times better than their new ugly third jersey. Now, the only Orca jersey I've seen in recent years that I think is actually cool and decent is actually their reverse retro. I like it better than their home jersey, their current home jersey, to be honest. But yeah, anything else I want to add before I wrap this up? I know I've been talking for a while, but, you know, I'm very passionate about this topic because, as I say, I'm from BC. I'm a lifelong Canucks fan. I've wanted to see Johnny Canucks somewhere on the Canucks jerseys for so long. I'm happy about this, but on the flip side, there's also certain things about it that I'm not happy about either. I was hoping that this guy would be the Canucks NHL logo, or being on a third jersey rather than the AHL team. But You know, by being the AHL logo, he's their main look. And truth is, I think the AHL Abbotsford Canucks, actually, their jerseys overall are better than their NHL affiliate, in my opinion. But anything else? Yeah, I think I've covered everything at this point. I just want to make sure I get everything off. Yeah, once again, I do think that what they did here was they wanted to capitalize on the branding of Johnny Canuck finally, which was a good marketing move, but also very good at saving costs by not needing to go and design a new logo. Doing this, wearing the same equipment as the NHL affiliate, they won't have to have the players wearing new equipment. Lots of AHL teams are doing that already. And I like that the Canucks farm teams are going to have different uniforms from the NHL affiliate. So I definitely respect the Canucks for that as well. A big shout out to them for doing that. I'm glad these are not blue. I'm glad they went with green. And truth is, I'm hoping that one day I get to go see the Abbotsford Canucks in person. Now that would be awesome. But anyways, on that note though, I know I've been talking for a while, but I just wanted to get that off of my chest. If you have anything you want to mention down below, feel free to do so. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. And if your name is Andre, I want to hear what you think about this, mister. I know you're as happy as I am to see Johnny Canuck somewhere. I know you are. I mean, it's been great talking to you about this because it's nice to know other people are out there like myself that want the Orca gone. But hey, I got to hear your thoughts on this, Andre. I really do. But as for the rest of you, I'd like to hear your thoughts too. Don't worry. I do think your thoughts matter as well. And I do appreciate and enjoy reading your comments 99% of the time. But anyways, on all of that, on that note, folks, I do hope that if you did stick around, this video was worth your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear people's opinions down below. And on that note, folks, that's a wrap from me at this point. And on that note, you guys, take care, and until my next video, as always, take care, and as usual, bye for now.